Explain the legal term voir dire, its origins and its purposes. Voir dire is to speak the truth. The idea for jurors to be sworn to tell the truth for the purpose of having fair jurors, find jurors for you based on their life experiences, and that would make a decision if the juror is for you, and to find jurors that are against you. This purpose is to find jurors that will make a fair decision for the case. This purpose also allows trial lawyers to seek jurors that are not biased against the parties involved. Not having voir dire will be impossible to identify the jurors that are unwilling or unable to follow the law and make impartial decisions on the case. Detail the process of voir dire and distinguish between premonitory and discretionary strikes of potential jury members. The process of voir dire is to find jurors that are for you and finding jurors that are against you. This process is faced with premonitory challenges, which are based upon the feelings of the juror. A juror can be excused because of his or her feelings towards the parties involved. Discretionary strikes are when jurors can be excused for cause when the judge finds that they cannot decide the case impartially. For example, if the case involves a divorce and the juror recently went through a divorce, then the juror may be biased based on the personal experience the juror had. The judge will then strike that juror by excusing the juror from the panel. Provide an opinion of whether or not the process of voir dire serves its state ends. My opinion for voir dire does not serve its stated ends because it has base elements that require the purpose of selecting jurors that will make a sound decision on a case. Not all jurors have the same mentality. Therefore, jurors are self-thinkers that should make a decision without lying about it. Create improvements in the current system of voir dire to ensure fair and impartial jurors for criminal trials. Improvements in the current system of voir dire to ensure fair and impartial jurors for criminal trials would be to facilitate more challenges for cause and premonitory challenges. It seems to me that more techniques to find jurors are needed to ensure a juror that will make the decision based on the actual experiences. Explain whether or not a defendant is entitled to a fair or a perfect jury. The defendant is entitled to a fair trial. If by any reason the defendant has been discriminated or a juror is biased against the defendant, then a new trial should be granted. Distinguish between premonitory strikes of jurors versus strikes for cause of potential jurors. A premonitory strike of jurors refers to excusing a potential juror without providing any reason. This is when the judge or the attorney believes that a juror cannot be fair. Strike for cause means that a juror is dismissed due to a reason of belief that the juror is unbiased. This means that the parties involved are acquaintances or the inability to be unbiased due to an experience of a similar matter.